welcome to our podcast. I'm Jess.
I'm Mandy.
And we are drama bonded. And today we are finally going to talk about Love Island, and we are going to finish up The Valley. How do you feel about all the shows?
I mean, it's a lot of television. I'm enjoying Love Island.
Same.
I feel like I'm learning a lot. So now I understand all the references and things that, like, I don't know.
Yeah. I've been loving it so much, and I guess this is a particularly good season with lots of drama. So if anybody's not watching, I suggest getting caught up and watching because it's so fun. But before we get into it, should we review our candy?
Yes.
Candy reviews with Mandy and Jess.
Okay, this week we've got Sour Patch Kids, but peach flavor exclusively and grape flavor exclusively.
Yeah, and for some reason, I thought they were going to actually look like Sour Patch Kids and just be the flavor, but they look like the fruit.
They do. The peach is two-toned. The grapes looks like grapes.
You said there was also a strawberry that we haven't tried.
There was. I don't know why I didn't grab it. Part of me felt like I had strawberry Sour Patch Kids and that maybe they weren't new and novel, but maybe I should have just grabbed them. I don't know what I was doing. I was on a different mission, so I wasn't like exactly at the forefront of my brain, I guess. I fucked up. But
I was happy with the peach and grape.
peach was amazing.
Yeah, peach was just kind of a little bit more of a chewy, sour version of a Peachio.
Yeah, which I guess, yeah, thinking about it comparatively to the Peachios, I would still probably choose Peachio.
Same. I like the texture better.
The texture, it's just a little chewier with the marshmallow fluffiness.
Mm-hmm.
But the peach Sour Patch Kid was really good. The grape one was really disappointing.
Yeah, there was hardly any grape flavor to it. It just felt almost like a watered down, really sweet version of a grape candy.
Or yeah, grape drink, grape popsicle. Like it just wasn't, it had so much potential because sour grape can be.
Well, grape is one of my favorite candy flavors.
I know. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, damn, Mans is going to love this.
Yes.
And then they let us down.
Yeah, we were a little disappointed.
So don't buy Sour Patch Kid grape, but
unless
definitely.
you just want a hint of grape.
Yeah, if you're a hint of grape, a whiff of grape, the grape essence.
The essence of grape.
The essence of grape. By all means. But yeah, otherwise, peach was delightful.
Yeah. I honestly think that it would be better in a bag where there was like 3 or 4 different fruit flavors.
So what we should do is go buy the watermelon and strawberry
and make a fruit
peach
salad.
and make a fruit salad. Yeah, boom, bam.
Because then
you're getting your salad in for the day, and nobody can tell you differently because we said so here.
But then if you had a grape every once in a while, it'd be fine.
It would be fine. And the grape, yeah, I agree with that. I think the grape could be a good palate cleanser.
Yeah,
totally. Okay, well, I'll go back to all the gas stations and see what I can find for our fruit salad for our next get together. Okay, so Love Island. We're gonna go through some questions, and then I'm gonna catch us up to episode 10 so that we're caught up for the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then because that's a lot of TV, you guys.
I only made it partway through episode 9, and Jess is like, "Can I finish through episode 10?" I was like, "Yes, please do that for us." Because if we get behind,
we're screwed.
There's no catching up.
No, this is wild. There's an episode every day except for Wednesdays.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And somehow I have managed it. I am like in a moment in my life where I have the space and the time for this. And so I'm leaning in, I'm living it up, and I'm excited. So
I will say something that makes it easy is that a lot of the show is just conversations, aside from the challenges, right?
yeah.
So I can like listen to the show and absorb what's happening while kind of like working if I have to.
Yeah, I agree. And I have definitely done that. I made a cake while watching the first few episodes, and that was a great way to consume them.
Yeah.
And now I'm a little bit more involved, and I'm like glued to the screen and Reddit live, like going through what everybody else's reactions are to, because wow. Who's your favorite Islander?
Definitely Serena.
Yes.
I think she's obviously such an amazing friend. Like the fact that she like slept with Leah after what Rob did.
I loved that.
And I don't know. I feel like she's just a girl's girl. Cute Allie's song. But I love her little cute voice. I think she's adorable. I like her energy. I feel like she's really authentic.
She is. Can I tell you a scene that happens in episode 10?
Sure.
So a bombshell comes in, and all the ladies, except for maybe Kaylor and Nicole and Andrea, are like trying to get with this new guy. And Janae is all about it because unfortunately Connor has moved on to Leah. And like honestly, Janae's too good for Connor. So good, I think that this works. But Serena and Janae are into Miguel. And Janae had been talking to him and said that she would make him eggs. Well, Serena finally gets her chance to talk to him, and Janae comes up like waitress style in this sexy ass red jumpsuit that she's wearing and like brings him eggs. And Serena is like, do not. Bitch, leave. I'm so mad at you right now. Like, do not. And Janae is like, should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? And Miguel is like living it up.
Oh, shit.
And she leaves the eggs, and Serena is pissed.
I don't blame her. I'd be pissed
I would
too.
be pissed too. But you know, it was so tender and I loved it was that the next day, and this goes to what you were saying, is she sits down with Janae and they have like the most reasonable adult conversation about it. And Janae is like, I was a bad friend. I didn't follow, I wasn't good with girl code. Shouldn't have done that. This is where my head was at. This is how I was raised. But like, I absolutely see. And she's only saying this in the ITM, like the part where she's like explaining herself. But then with Serena, she like very sincerely is like, I fucked up and I'm really sorry about that. And they made up, and it was awesome to see two women be able to like, because it's okay to have confrontation.
Yes.
Like it's okay for like that to happen, but it doesn't have to be like a friendship ruiner. And they handled it so well. And I love
makes
to
me
see
happy.
It did me too, because I was like, damn, I don't want these two beefing because they're my two favorite Islanders. Like I couldn't choose. I just think Janae with the plants and kind of having a meltdown over Connor, and Leah being really into plants, and she didn't know the names of plants and was crying about it, and Aaron was trying to like give her a really quick rundown, was so funny. And it actually made me like Aaron a lot more. But yeah, Janae is hilarious to me, and Serena is just cool as shit.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. That's kind of a cop-out to choose two. Serena and Janae.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't choose one. Just like for my least favorite Islanders, I still have two because they're really competing with me. So I've got Hakeem and Rob.
Oh, so Rob didn't start out being my least favorite, but he's my least favorite now.
Yeah, you and I both had a same trajectory on that. Like, didn't like Rob because Rob can't make coffee. Ew.
Yeah, and also he just seemed kind of like a fuckboy.
Right, he's trying to play it too cool, and you're just over it. But then he gets with Leah, and it's like, I liked it.
I liked his intention.
Me too. I was so into it. And then it just took a 180 and went
his
south.
Little cowboy boots jumped off a cliff. I don't know. That was weird.
It was weird. The way he really gaslit Leah was so shocking to me. And I just like, I could not handle it anymore. And it was the ick, and I can't unsee it now. Like he is the hottest, but also he's not anymore.
I feel like I was watching that scene with my mouth open. Like, what am I actually watching right now? Is he really doing that? Is he really crying and making this about him and making her apologize to him?
Yeah, he did that.
I could not. I wanted to reach to the screen and just shake him by the neck.
Yes. I feel like gaslighting is a term, obviously, like with The Bachelor and things that gets thrown around.
This is actually gaslighting.
That was actually gaslighting, convincing, like just outright being like, your reality is not the real one, mine is, and you're just wrong.
Yeah.
And like completely turning what was actually happening upside down on its head. It was so wild to watch. I agree. And then he goes and cries in the bushes.
And then he goes under the pool.
Looks over to see if Leah's going to come comfort him. And she's just sitting there like, what the fuck?
Well, and then even after that, so when she doesn't sleep with him at night, and the next day when they're talking, and he still is telling her like, I still have feelings for you. Like, I still don't know where I'm at with things. Like, he is still stringing her the fuck along.
Especially when you compare it to what he's literally also saying to Andrea.
Yes.
Where he's like, don't tell anybody. Between us, this is a thing. And it's like, okay, Rob, then go tell fucking Leah that. What are you doing? Ew. Yeah, Rob.
Well, and then Andrea and Nicole are like, well, he's not even disrespecting her. Like, they're totally acting.
No, that
like
also
Leah's the crazy one.
That also made me mad was when Rob was shit talking about Leah to Andrea. Andrea, like, girls, that is such a red flag. If a guy you are seeing is talking shit and making his ex out to be crazy, run, because you're going to be that crazy ex at some point. Like, do not tolerate that behavior from men. That is garbage behavior. Gross. Don't do that. And for her to go along with it, like, I'm out. Sorry, Andrea.
Rob was giving me Tom Sandoval energy.
Yes. Ew. Yes. And then he was like, I haven't ejaculated.
Oh my God.
Right? Did you not just like, I want it out of my skin? I was like,
that is the fact that he used that as a reason of like why he wasn't okay. Like, grow the fuck up.
Yeah, then go masturbate in a corner, my dude. I don't know what to tell you. Go do it under the pool deck. Like, then figure it out. Like, ugh.
Do it in the shower. Do it. I don't know. Like, that is not an excuse. That is not an excuse to treat people like garbage.
No.
That's not an excuse to be emotional. That's not an excuse to be confrontational. Like, dude.
Also, it was such a bummer. Like, we want to see men emote. We love a man who cries, but when he cried,
not when he's manipulating people.
That was the equivalent of white women tears and weaponizing it and using it against Leah. And I'm glad she called him out on it, though I wish she had more dialogue around it, because we don't want to shit on men for crying, but that cry was just, get out. I don't buy it.
Well, the way Leah handled the whole thing,
she really opened up. She went hard after that. I was like, wow, this is a Leah we have not seen.
After that, though, like, while it was happening, I feel like she was very much like, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. Like, I'm sorry, la, la, la.
I know. I wish all of these women had a lot more confidence. I mean, it's probably hard to be in this villa with all of these, with other, like, 10s.
Well, yeah.
Because they're probably used to being around, you know.
It is a competitive environment.
Us normies. It is a very competitive environment. So I get it, but like, come on, ladies. You are so gorgeous. You know it. Like, own it. This is not, these guys, I mean, if they go for somebody else because they're hotter, fuck them. But likely they're not, because everybody's hot. I don't know. It's wild. But yeah, Leah is very insecure.
Yeah, it was really disappointing to watch. I don't know.
That was a bummer.
When he flipped the switch on her and then all of a sudden she finds herself apologizing to him, I was like, no.
Don't do it. Slap him.
Push him.
Kick him in the dick. I don't know. No violence. Not really. But, you know, yeah, something.
Okay, let's see. Couple most likely to succeed.
As of now, who are you thinking?
I don't think anybody.
I know, it is. I had written those questions out last night, and this morning I was still mulling it over after everything I'd watched. And I settled on Kendall and Nicole just because they seem so far to be equally matched. I know I just said everybody's hot, but like their level of hotness or type of hotness seems to like correspond. And they both are sitting here pretending that they're like these special, unique little hot nerds, but they're into all the same nerdy stuff that's really popular right now, which makes them not nerdy at all. Like, I'm sorry, being into the Marvel movies and Star Wars right now is not uncool.
That's just like the mainstream
coolest
pop culture.
Yeah, you're doing what everybody else is doing, and that's great. I like both of those things too, but that doesn't make you a nerd. Sorry. You guys are just two very hot people into what's popular right now. But like, they seem like they're going to go the distance.
When she asked him if he knew what a GameCube was, I was like,
I know. Well, you have to remember
that's a pretty main Nintendo system.
This is our Gen Zers, right?
I know.
Which, by the way, I meant to talk to you about this. I did not realize that Gen Z has that millennials have such a beef with Gen Zers over wearing sneakers with nice dresses. I have been confronted with this several times now, and I am shocked that it's so visceral, but I just have to go ahead, and I feel really strongly about this. I'm going to state it on the record. I am with Gen Z. Wear the sneakers. We do not need, and if you want to put your feet into really uncomfortable shoes that make you feel good, do that. But if you want to wear your Jordans with your nice dress, do that too. But like, I've been shocked at the response to that. I did not know that was such a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing. For me, it totally depends on the dress and the sneakers.
Sure.
It's not really about the sneakers. It's more like, did you do it right? Does it look good together?
And then they would argue that it never looks good together. The
No,
colloquial
I
they
actually-
being every millennial that's on Reddit right now shitting on every Gen Zer for doing it. So like, I don't know. I think it is a hard look to pull off, but as somebody who does it just out of shared desire to be comfortable, I'm not doing it for anybody else but for me. So fuck off. But I was just surprised. I didn't know people were like heated about it. So if anybody else has opinions on that, send them our way.
Yeah, I guess. I think it depends on the dress and the sneakers and
That's
the person.
Fair. That's fair. But anyway, that was my Gen Z thing where I was just kind of shocked by all that. But so you have no couple likely to succeed?
No, I think they're all going to burn.
Okay, I like it. We'll make note of that. What's your most dramatic moment so far?
I mean, definitely when Andrea and Nicole get the text and the text says like, any men that want to couple with these women, like go stand at the fire pit. And Nicole has 3 men standing up there, which I was like, damn, woman, good for you.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. Popular.
And then Rob's
Hakeem,
like,
though, shouldn't have been standing up there.
I mean, not surprised.
Ugh.
And then Rob's just like sitting there, like side-eyeing Leah. And then last second, just like, I'm sorry, and stands up.
Do you think he would have stood up if Aaron had stood up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1000%.
So Rob was standing up no matter what.
1000%.
Yeah. I hated that. I really hated that.
Well, I wish he just would have been fucking honest with her. And then he could have just stood up because he had already communicated what he needed to.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been a surprise.
Yes, just like if Andrea asks me to couple with her, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, easy peasy. Be cool, Rob, right? That's what you want. The cool girl, the easy girl, the girl who agrees with you on everything. Like, then give her that opportunity. I don't know. Ugh, that asshole. For me, I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of where you're at, but in episode 10, the bombshell that comes in, Miguel, like I said, he was being pulled by everybody. And there were 4 women left at the time when he was choosing. And so obviously somebody's going home. And I honestly had no idea who he was going to pull. And it was like, oh shit, this is like stakes are high because someone's leaving. And he pulled Liv, which good for Liv. I'm excited for her. Liv has been such chaotic. I don't know if she's good or evil, but she's been chaotic energy. And so I'm pumped that she got pulled by the bombshell and is safe and is staying for at least one more week because damn, is she good TV.
Yeah, she is good TV.
She really made me laugh. Like, I know Hakeem was a total dick to her, but her crying and being like, I have done everything for everybody else kind of made me laugh because, girl, no, you have not. But okay, I understand that your feelings are hurt and that is valid.
She's a little bit of a diva.
She is a diva.
I forgot least favorite Islander. I wanted to add Hannah.
Hannah?
Yeah, she annoys the shit out of me.
Okay.
And I think she's pretty dumb.
I don't think anybody's really racking in the IQ points
I know,
in this place. But you're right. She does hold a special level of unintelligence.
And I feel like this leads into the next one, the cringiest moment. My cringiest moment is when she kisses Hakeem in the challenge instead of Kendall.
Dude.
After she just told Kendall that she was like not going to speak to Hakeem anymore. And there was that tension between the 3 of them.
That's right.
Dude, that was so fucking
bad.
sloppy.
I know, girlfriend.
That was so and then afterwards, I think it was Janae or Serena that was explaining to her like why it wasn't a good look. And she's like, oh, like I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, she didn't think that one through. Oh, that is a very good cringy moment. That was really bad. I feel like I'm tied for 2 cringy moments, and Hannah is part of one of them.
Okay.
In the very first episode where they were supposed to kiss who they were interested in, and she kissed Coy, and he did look like he just like somebody threw a powdered donut at his face because all of her makeup came off on him.
I know, it was killing me.
It was me too. And I know she has like hyperhidrosis or something where her hands and her feet sweat.
Oh yeah, she said that in her intro.
God, honestly, same. But like, I also have to imagine that when you're in like a really hot and humid place, like if she does excessively sweat, I'm sure like it does probably translate to her face a little bit. But I thought that there was like makeup spray for that. I don't know. You and I aren't the makeup experts in terms of like that quantity of makeup and how that all works. But also just like know your surroundings and maybe don't put on so much makeup in like an incredibly humid, hot area. I don't know. It just like, ugh.
I'm also going to make a comment about, I think, okay, Hannah without makeup is gorgeous.
Stunning.
Also, on the one hand, like, I guess if you want to do your makeup how you want to do it, right? But
Totes.
there's something about the way that she does her lips where I'm just like staring at her lips all the time. And it looks like they have just been like glued on her face and aren't almost a part of the rest of her face.
No, I noticed this too with Kaylor. It's so weird to me, like the makeup choices, and I don't know if it's a generational thing.
I was like, is this like what people are doing now?
I know, but it's like, and these women are so drop dead gorgeous. Like, you do not need to be piling the makeup on like that. And I want to say, like, good for it, go for it. I guess, but like, also, this just isn't a look that appeals to me. And it's kind of surprising when they're so stunning to like do things that almost, like, not almost, but in my opinion, do take away from that. I don't know. It's wild to me. I can't imagine that amount of makeup on my face.
Yeah, especially in a humid tropical climate.
No, all I can think about is like my eyebrows and my eyelashes, just like all the makeup migrating down.
Oh, yeah.
And like your eyeliner sticking up towards your eyebrows.
Oh, yeah.
And your lipstick melting.
Ugh.
Yeah, not fun.
Okay, sorry, I just had to throw that out
No,
there.
I'm glad. And my other cringy moment, I think, would probably have to be Rob crying.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
because I was like, I cannot.
Yeah, that
with
was really
this.
bad.
Ugh. I wanted to look away, but I did not.
I'm going to add him hiding in the pool.
What?
Because he just needs to be alone, Jess.
He's not like other guys.
Yeah, he just needs to be alone.
He doesn't like girls. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, best challenge.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the Maybelline challenge, where the guys wore headphones and noise canceling headphones and masks, and then they kissed all the girls and ranked each kiss.
Oh, that's
And
one
then
I haven't watched yet.
The girls do the same. That one was spicy.
Okay.
Like, I could not stop watching. I was like, damn, this is good television.
Something to look forward to.
Some of those kisses, Cordell is a freak, you guys. He was like tongue jarring or sparring with Hannah, and like tongues were fully out of their mouths, like slapping around in the air.
That's not good. Is that
Right?
meant to be sexy?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. It was wild. And then Kendall really went for it and wanted to be the best kisser, so he was, which was interesting because Kendall would be, of course, the best kisser. He's a smooth operator. Yeah, it was wild. Connor gave Janae a 7 on her kiss, which really was also like, damn, Connor, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. That's not. Poor Janae.
Poor Janae.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
It was a bummer.
I can tell after watching Andrea kiss both Rob and Aaron, I knew that she was going to pick Rob. I mean, just kiss alone, Aaron looks like a terrible kisser. He's just like
so
he's like
bad,
sticking his tongue in her mouth like repetitively, and I'm like, he's not following the flow of the kiss at all. He's just like inserting his tongue over and over again.
Dude, I can't. Like, I'm so glad I'm not in the market to just be kissing people these days, because watching this gives me so much anxiety. So I'm deeply sorry to you.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you imagine kissing someone on television then watching it back?
No, I couldn't. I could not. I barely can handle like the kisses in The Bachelor. This was a little different because it was a challenge, but it still like evoked that same level of just like, how do people live with themselves? I don't know. Like, I couldn't go on TV and find out if I'm a good kisser or not.
Well, Matt James got so much heat for kissing with his eyes open.
That is weird.
And then Katie Thurston got shit for being like too aggressive with her kisses.
Liv has gotten that feedback too. Liv, spoiler, was the worst kisser.
And I guess, some people are into aggressive kissers, to each their own. But I don't know.
Yeah. Serena knew that Cordell would be into it, so she was like biting his neck.
Oh.
And like nipping at him in all the places.
Oh.
He loved it.
Oh, shit.
Loved
she was playing to her audience.
Yeah, she was.
Smart.
So that's also fun to watch. I think the women are a little bit more strategic in that.
Oh, yeah. Well, they pay attention.
They pay attention.
Wow.
And Connor was just grabbing everybody's ass, which was annoying. I don't know. I guess that's the nature of this, but it was still just like, you don't need to do that.
I don't like Connor.
I know you don't. And I'm glad you said that, because now I'm like, really, I trust your judgment. And I'm like, oof, Mandy's not. If he doesn't have Mandy's seal approval, it definitely doesn't have mine.
Oh, man. Okay.
What about for you?
My favorite challenge was it was farther back, but it was where they were guessing each other's numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like you found out a lot about people.
So
from that
much about
challenge.
people.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments was like, how much have you spent on your man, like with a gift? And Hannah's $20 was epic.
So epic. How can you not like Hannah?
To her defense, though, she's like, I'm not spending money on a man that's not my boyfriend because she's never been in a relationship, and I respect it.
$20 on gas station snacks.
That's fine.
But then
that
Taylor,
is situationship appropriate.
$5,000? Where the fuck did you get $5,000? You're how old? Like, I don't think I had that kind of money at 24.
I mean, she might not. She might be putting on a credit card. Who knows?
Right. People
or maybe
can be
she
financially
does.
irresponsible. Right. I don't know. Also, her making me laugh where she said that she was wearing her designer clothes when everybody else wasn't. And I was like, what designers are you talking about?
Also, Leah's custom Louis Vuitton blunt holder for her ex, it's like $1,000.
Yeah.
I was like, a custom Louis Vuitton blunt holder?
That is a weird gift. And
I'll take one.
I mean, yeah, I would too. But like, also, I don't know.
I guess it's nice that you would never buy yourself that. So if you had to receive like a weird
you know
thing.
what? That's a good point. Yeah, that is a good like. But somebody should have bought that for her.
Oh, 1,000%.
That was a very fun challenge. Coy really that was the death of Coy. And you can't be a fuckboy and then
you
not
learned a
allow
lot
women
about
to
them.
also have that. Like, get out of here. Women are allowed to sleep around too, and the notion that they're not,
Yeah, I like that Cordell was like, women can sleep with infinity. I was like, it's like these men are kind of dumb. Like,
yes.
think about how this is going to be received, you dummy. And Cordell was like, you can sleep with whoever, it's just about like your values. And
I think even Rob said it's like not a question I would ask and it's not my business. And that's the correct answer.
That's the correct answer. It's not just like you should be sleeping with less people than I am because obviously you're a woman.
Yeah, you're
like, how do you not realize what a double standard that is and how fucked up that is?
I have no idea. That was a good challenge and that was very telling. Is there like anything else that's sticking out to you at the moment that you want to cover or talk about?
I will say this show makes me feel like I need boobs because the fashion is like all boobs. Boobs.
It has made me feel a little bit better about my boobs.
You should feel great about your boobs.
Thank you. I'm going to get a little personal. It's been really like, since I was 12, I had a really large chest and it's always been like so overtly sexualized by both like by adults, by men and women. And so I think when I finally like got to an age where it would have been appropriate to like just wear stuff that put my breasts out there, like clothes sometimes just fit that way. When you have boobs, it's hard to contain them. But I have always felt so insecure about it because of that reason. And this show is kind of like, in a way, healing me because I'm like, you know what? It's okay if my boobs are hanging out a little bit in my sports bras because all of theirs are and nobody's making comments about it. And that's how it should be. Like, your body should just be able to be what it is without people making comments.
Yes.
So don't comment on people's bodies. And yes, the fashion is booby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, damn.
Hannah at one point was wearing that teeny tiny little swimsuit that she has and jump roping with Miguel, who came in, and I was like, how is it all gonna stay in? And then I realized her boobs are fake, and when she jumped, I was like, oh, I get it. Okay, she's good. If I had done that, it would have been like saggy boobs falling out both directions, swimsuit pinching in. It's wild, but I'm glad to see it.
The amount of like bodyscaping these people have to do to maintain the fashion that they're wearing in Fiji is,
ooh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, there's so many logistics. Like, how do you?
Because you can't have a hairy butthole when you're wearing the swimsuits that these women are wearing, and that is a level of like self-care that is hard to achieve.
How do
like
they
on your own.
that?
Yeah, because it's like one thing when you've got your waxing appointment every 4 to 5 weeks, but you're in Fiji for 6 weeks. So what are you doing?
Also, a question I have is: do people have sex on Love Island? Like,
I think that's a really good question. I swear you can. Like maybe you can't do it till you get to Casa Amor.
Oh, okay. So we haven't gotten that far.
We haven't gotten that far. I know we're newbies to this. So
yeah, I'm like, where's the sex?
I mean, we don't have cameras in there all night, but it would be bold to be like having sex.
But I feel like they'd be like talking about it if they were having sex. Well,
Rob called out Leah for having weird sexual tension.
That to me was like so calculated, though.
It was. I hated that. That was another instance where like using the bombshell coming in as an excuse to like air your grievances and make it seem like it's not about the bombshell, but all about like the person.
Also, there was a conversation between Leah and Kendall that killed me where they were talking about sexual chemistry as if it's just something that you have yourself.
I know, that was so funny. I'm like, you guys, that's not how this works.
It's not about you having sexual chemistry. It's about two people having sexual chemistry
like together. And you can, yeah. And
I know Kendall was like trying to like, help her out and be like, you're sexy, you know it.
Rob
like,
must have that brain cell still.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I just want to call out Cordell and his Cheez-Its.
Oh my God.
I hope that comes true for him. Like, I hope he manifested that. But that was seriously some of the funniest shit I have ever, like, in all seriousness, when Serena was like, what do you mean sponsorships? And he's like, like Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its. Yes. Get it, Cordell. I hope you get that sponsorship. But also, you have to be, I guess now he could be, he's famous enough on his own rights, not just
because of his
brother. He's now been on Love Island. So
Nabisco,
Cheez-Its.
If you don't take advantage of that, you are missing out.
Yeah, get that Short King, his Cheez-It sponsorship.
Yeah.
God. I also wanted to kind of touch base on the nice guy trope with Cordell. Because I think you and we've encountered this, especially with like the Bachelorette with Brandon.
Yes.
And I really hate that this is a weird tactic that guys do, and it still gets pushed onto women as though women are the problem for not liking nice guys. But nice guys, it's like you don't have your own personality. You are not your own person.
You're telling us what we want to hear.
And we know it. So it's very obvious, like, you're not who you're pretending to be. Who are you? Don't be who you think I want you to be.
Yeah.
And so, of course, it comes off as disingenuous, and women don't like it. That's why I'm really certain that Michelle wasn't into Brandon. I think that's why things went south with Serene and Brandon.
Yes.
Because he didn't end up cheating on her and like doing all this other stuff because he was never his true self. And I feel like people are picking, like Serena was kind of picking up on that with Cordell. You become a wild card because they don't know who you are.
Yeah, she's like, it sounds like you're reading from a script and I've played this game before.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not sexy. Have your own life. Have your own passions. And it's not our fault for not eating up what you are actively like snake oil selling us. Gross.
Yeah, because women read between the lines and we understand a lot more than you think we do.
Yeah, don't tell us what we want to hear. We like to be challenged. We like to hear new things. Like, it's not just that we want a yes man.
Yeah. Also, it feels like they're just doing that to like get in our pants.
Right. Like, what are you trying to get at? Sex? Not going to happen. Don't want to have sex with a pushover.
Yep.
Take a new tactic. So I don't know. And I don't know if that's what Cordell is doing, but like,
well, we haven't seen him in a relationship, so it's hard for us to know.
Yeah, he and Serena have kindled things, so
it kind of surprises me.
It does me too. And the guys were like, I don't know, she's pulling something over on you because it's elimination time. And I kind of don't feel like it. I feel like after they had that kissing competition, it sparked a little something. They're not going to make it, but I
think she cares about him as a person.
Yeah.
And if she is saving herself for the elimination challenge, like, girl, get it.
Yeah, stay. I am here for that.
I don't want you to leave.
I don't either. She's so good. Have you seen her in her butterfly swimsuit yet?
No.
Mandy, it is so beautiful against her skin. And I'm like, I want that butterfly swimsuit. And I'm like, it's not going to look like that on you. But damn, it is. She's
so cute.
She is so cute. I love her style. I'm with you. She's there. Well, that's Love Island so far. Can I read the couples that are still remaining? Okay. So Hannah went home. So we've got Leah and Connor, Janae and Hakeem, Rob and Andrea, Aaron and Kaylor, Kendall and Nicole, Cordell and Serena, Liv and Miguel, and our least brightest bulb, Hannah, heads home. Everybody was so sad. Like, there was like sobbing.
Wow.
It was intense. I was like, damn, you guys, you have been under pressure. I'm not entirely sure that you're just crying for Hannah here, but
I mean, Hannah did seem well liked.
She did. She really did seem well liked.
I guess my criticism of her is more of like the way she's interacting with men. It wasn't necessarily her relationships with women.
Sure. Well, and when it bears repeating, like we're not actually saying like anything about these people beyond what we see on the show too. So like, yeah, Hannah probably is a really lovely, fun human being. I think Janae described her as a random burst of energy.
Oh, okay.
And I loved that.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? That's very true. She is a random burst of energy. So farewell, Hannah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Setting spray.
Setting spray. Okay, so
we finishing up the valley?
Yeah, the valley.
Not Hollywood, we're in the valley.
Oh, the valley. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I took that from the episode. As soon as I heard that, I was like, we're putting it in the episode.
I love that.
The valley. Whoop, whoop.
Let's do more of that. I feel like it ended in a really heavy way.
Whoa. Yeah.
What is season 2 gonna be like?
I don't know, but I'm on board.
Yes.
And I am excited.
Yes.
And this has been compelling television.
Yeah.
So I think you and I have been converted.
Oh, yeah.
We're here for
We're in
it.
it. We're in it to win it.
Yeah.
You guys, we had a rocky journey, but I feel like we netted out positive.
We did. So we start with episode 11, Dark Side Danny. And damn, Michelle and Brittany are setting up for the baby shower. Like, I guess we're just spending a million years in Big Bear. They live there
how
now.
many episodes has this fucking trip spanned?
Yeah, that's wild to me.
And then it was like an episode setting up the Big Bear trip where half the people weren't invited. I feel like a third of the season has been around this Big Bear trip.
Totally. It's like accumulation to Stassi's birthday kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Just like big deal, Big Bear trip.
It's my fucking birthday. Yes.
I thought listening to Michelle talk about Jesse was so telling. When Brittany's like, do you want to be in a relationship? And she's like, I do. And they don't. And it's like, that means no.
Every physical sign of her body is telling you that she is done.
And rightly so.
And she does get emotional about it.
That actually caused me, like, I felt some things when she was talking about
Yeah.
that. Like, that made me kind of sweat it a little bit, where she was like, I wish I could go back to feeling those things, but I just don't. And I wish that I could, but it's not there. And it is, so interesting to think about how that works, and that, if you don't tend and care to your relationship, those feelings aren't going to stick around forever. And I think that that is something that Jax and Jesse really took for granted.
Yes, and you shouldn't wait until it's so broken to try to fix it. It should be like a constant effort on both people's sides
Perpetually.
to maintain and meet each other.
That's what they mean when they say marriage is work.
Yeah,
It's
you don't
like,
you don't get to just fuck it up and be like, "Oh shit, we should try to fix it now."
yeah, no, don't get to that point. Be in constant mode of like, this is something that requires my attention and concern and care.
Well, and unfortunately, Jesse seems to have this air of just like, well, we're married, so we're never going to get divorced, because he is extremely traditional in his marriage views, where he's just like,
but nothing else apparently.
yeah, he's like, once you get married, you just make a commitment to each other. We've made vows, and so those should keep us together. And I'm like, my dude, like, that's not how it works.
Jax has the same fucking opinion.
It's
and
really gross.
It is so gross. It's so misogynistic, that belief that like divorce can't exist because like, well, you made a choice. And it's like, well, but you've made many choices since then that aren't conducive to this working. So fuck off.
I feel like it just is enabling them to feel like they can treat their spouses however, and then them expect their women to just stay by their side after they've been like emotionally abused, neglected, not supported.
Yeah. So not surprised to hear that that's not going well.
And then Brittany kind of, isn't that where she shares?
No, that's a little bit later where
Oh yeah, that was her and Janet.
yeah, but we'll get there. The baby shower
Yes.
looks really cheap, but whatevs. They're in Big Bear, and
I
like
mean,
the
that was
nicest
nice
house.
of them.
It was
to
nice of them.
Throw a random
But also kind of
shower.
shitty to throw it without Kristen and Zach. Like, there's also a level of that of like, okay, very clear who are not your friends anymore. And like, you guys.
Well, Janet wouldn't want Kristen there anyway.
That's true. That's true. They chugged those baby bottles, which apparently is not easy. And they did not make it look easy. And then, I felt a little bad for Janet when everybody was like, oh my God, birthing babies is the worst. I was like, woo, yeah, it is.
Yeah, if I was really pregnant, I wouldn't want to hear women talk about that either.
I can't decide if I would want to or not, but having witnessed a friend of mine be in labor and just I sat with her for that full 48 hours, I have nothing good to say.
I feel like we all know the good stories and the bad stories. And I'm just saying, you don't know how your birth experience is going to be.
I had a boss one time that started to go into labor, got to the hospital, and they're like, yeah, man, sorry, you're too far along to have an epidural. And 10 minutes later, that baby was out.
Yes, that was my friend. My friend had a similar experience where she's like, I went into labor, I waited at home for a while, and then I decided to go to the hospital at this point. And then as soon as I got there, it was just 2 hours and he was out.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
And so I'm saying there's both ends of the spectrum.
Right. So just yeah, I know. It's hard, I guess, for people to not share their experience, but poor Janet and Jason on this trip really getting it from both ends. These are not the people that you want to hear life experiences from.
Poor Jason. The guys are just being a dad's rough. Your wife doesn't care about you or
it's all
appreciate
about the kids.
You never have sex.
Yeah. Stupid guys. The boys are off fishing, which was kind of funny. Jesse getting left and then getting on another boat. Jesse would be cocky enough to do that. But the little scene of the guys, the dock, Jesse.
That was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. I got to hand it to him. That did make me laugh.
And this is where Danny's starting to get sloshed.
So fucking hammered. I love that this episode called attention to the fact that Nia and Danny always leave.
Yeah.
Nia's smart.
She's so smart.
And I use it I'm this person. I'm like, well, gotta get home to the dogs. Sorry. I'm out of here. But having
I think
kids,
Nia's excuses are a little bit
totally to the point where I did not even clock that she did that.
Yeah, me neither.
I was like, oh yeah, of course she's got to get home the babysitter. Yeah, of course she's got to get home. Her boobs are leaking. Yeah, of course she's got to get home the babysitter.
I never connected the dots.
I didn't either, and it was always at peak times. And then when they did all those clips back, I was like, I'm so gullible.
But also, I don't think you're gullible. I think she's just smart.
Mm-hmm. She really is.
And classy.
So classy. She's like, we're not going to be part of this.
Yeah.
Or Danny's really drunk and we got to go. But fantasy night, kind of funny.
What was your read on this party theme?
Right? It's a little bizarre. So I love Janet dressing up as Vanilla. Because that's the kind of sex that Jason likes. And Vanilla Nation, rise up. Good with that.
Yeah.
The hot dog was also funny, especially his arms poking out of that. Damn, Jason.
Yeah.
I think they nailed it because it's funny, hot dog.
Yes.
Ha ha ha. But everybody else, I was just I don't know. It was weird. So these are sexual fantasies.
I guess.
But Jax on stilts was stupid.
Yeah.
Ranch. But she didn't dress up as Ranch because it didn't come.
And
Nia.
then Brittany was a hockey bunny.
A hockey bunny. Jax was an NBA player.
Danny was the guy from Outlander.
Yep. Jamie. And then Michelle was Booty Call Michelle. Which,
that
by
was
the
pretty
way,
good.
Jesse is hot objectively until you hear him talk and then you're like, he's disgusting. But the idea of her going over to a booty call for him, when they first, because she blew him off
trench coat
with the trench coat is
no, that's hot.
You're making me sweat, girl.
Yeah.
That is, Jesse is a lucky man to have experienced that because I don't know if I personally know any women that would do that, though maybe we should start doing that. I don't know. That was good. That was damn, props.
Also, Michelle is stunning.
So beautiful. So yeah, that I don't know how I feel about that theme though. It was weird. Yeah. I don't know if I would want I don't know. I don't know if I would. I don't know how I feel about it. What do you think?
I just don't know, even with my ex, I don't know what we would each dress up as.
I was just thinking, I'm I don't know what I would ask Saul to go as. And I don't know. I mean, naked would be Saul's fantasy.
That's true.
So I would just have to go to, and I wouldn't. So bummer time. Not appropriate. He could maybe dress up as an academic book.
Okay, or like maybe a, I don't know.
We can't say professor because I work with professors.
I stopped.
That's not it. That's not my kink.
What about just like an academic person?
Yeah.
Like, the tweed with the elbow pads, and
absolutely.
Maybe he's got his little like man bag, and he's got some glasses.
He does, other than the glasses, like he does nail that. He's got his bag and he's got his...
Yeah, he could just dress really like academic and sharp.
Totally.
Maybe it's like unbuttoned a little bit.
Ooh, yeah. See, like that would work for him. I can't do naked.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough theme. These guys have some really swanky parties.
Yeah, so at the party, Danny proceeds to get really, really...
I was surprised that Michelle thought it was a good idea to bring up where they were living.
Yeah.
When, like, we know it's contentious.
I feel like that was kind of done on purpose.
Yeah, to, like, generate some drama.
Yeah.
Danny loses it, but he's drunk. And, like, I get where Danny's coming from and that it's really hard to have 3 kids and be making the money that he makes and, like, affording everything. But also listening to Nia talk about her need for community and, like, not being far removed from people. Like,
well, especially where she's at with her mental health right now.
I know, that was really tough. And I sort of hate that. I don't know. And I'm glad that they reconciled the next morning.
Yeah.
But, like, that was kind of, like, that was another intense moment where it's like, holy shit, adult problems of like needing Nia for mental health to be closer to people. And then the reality of finances and space also have to be taken into account. Like,
it's very obvious that it was one of those moments where the alcohol removed the filter and Danny was just like telling everyone exactly how he felt about everything.
I know. And
to his wife's detriment.
I thought Jasmine was really smart to be like, Danny, something's going on.
Yeah.
Like this is not his MO. So it was like kind of good to hear that because it's like the way he's behaving is deplorable. But like, I guess we've definitely all had those moments where you're just not your best self, whether you're tired, hangry, too much alcohol, just like stress. I don't know. And like you say things you shouldn't. So, like, we're going to give it to him because he does come back the next morning and is...
I mean, Danny still is not one of the worst men on this cast.
That's a low bar.
Nia, like, bless Nia for navigating that awkward scene. But I think...
I do like them as a couple.
Yeah, I think that they have the best communication.
Totally. I do appreciate all the flashbacks they gave us in that moment, though. Like, oh, damn. That is a strategic woman.
Yes.
Love it. So the next morning, is there anything else about that fantasy party? I feel like that was kind of like all Danny.
It was just sloppy Danny.
It was sloppy Danny. Jesse confronts Michelle the next morning about everything because she had sex with him with her eyes closed. And I just could not. I was like, the way he goes and stands at the window and like pensively looks out. It's like, fuck you, man. But he's like, what if it's true?
I feel like he sees it, but he's just choosing not to see it. It's like he is willingly wanting to just close his eyes on the relationship and exist in it. And then like when she's just like actually showing him where she's at, he's like, he doesn't want to see it. You know what I mean? Like he's accusing her of having her eyes shut during sex. But I'm like, Jesse, you have your eyes shut in this fucking marriage.
Yep. He does. He absolutely does. Like, Michelle basically is talking to a wall. Like, he's not receptive to anything and he's not making any moves to change. And also, it's kind of too little too late. Once you've gotten the ick from your partner.
Yes, when he was like, we're going to have so much sex this weekend. And he was like all over her and you could tell she was cringing. I said, oh, God, that made me uncomfortable.
It did me too. I hated that. Like, I feel for her not thinking that he's attractive anymore because he really steps in it in the next episode too. And then... this is where we get to Janet and Brittany going for a talk.
And she was like, I know you don't believe in divorce.
And Brittany's like, oh, we would absolutely go down that path.
I think that was when you're like, okay, shit. Like, Brittany is really... because Brittany has survived so much in her relationship with Jax.
So much. Jax, and especially this trip, him screaming at her, and then him coming in, especially at that one point, I don't even know if we like really even touched on it, where he's like, I've had 2 bottles of tequila and you don't see me acting crazy. And he's yelling. And it's like, actually, Jax, I need you to look in a mirror.
Look in a mirror.
You are absolutely acting crazy right now. Or not crazy, but like belligerent and angry and really abusive. Like you are accusing her of something that you are clearly doing and screaming at her in front of all of your friends like this.
His apologies are so empty too.
Oh, they are. It's basically just like, well, yeah, but sorry, just don't do that next time.
Yeah, like I'll work on it.
And we've been hearing that for 8 years.
Yeah.
And he is still quintessential Jax. Like he has never changed.
Yep.
Ew. Yeah, I hated that. I guess we finally leave Big Bear and we go to Gentleman's Lunch. Jesse again. $20,000 lunch with 4 people.
Is Jesse paying for it, or are these men paying $5,000 for their lunch?
I guess they probably all split it. That's wild to me too. $5,000 for lunch? Like that's the wrong meal too. Lunch is not.
Yeah, like if I'm going to do that, it's definitely going to be dinner, but I would never even be able to do that.
I want it to be breakfast. I want,
want
like
a
a
$5,000
9-course
breakfast.
Yeah, I do. I do want a $5,000 breakfast. Give it to me.
I don't like breakfast.
I get it. The reason that I like breakfast is because it's been like, I had this thought the other day. I don't know how we've all been bamboozled into thinking that like cereal, pancakes, waffles, French toast, it's dessert. And we're calling it a meal. So of course I like it. That's like, that's amazing.
That's fair.
Yeah, anyway, that's why I'm for it. But I also thought this was a weird setting for Jesse to call out Jax. Or like not to call him out, but to try and call him in and be like, hey, take it from me. You're in a lot of trouble. And Jax is like, I don't need to listen to you. And he's like, no. This is precisely the reason you should listen to Jesse, because he literally knows. He's also going through this. He is the most aware.
Which, it's crazy that he's actually showing awareness in... I feel like he shows awareness about his relationship with the men, but he doesn't bring that awareness to his conversations with Michelle.
Which we will find out very quickly.
It feels like he's like plays dumb with Michelle almost as a way to manipulate her. But with the men, he's like, man, my marriage is broken. We're definitely getting divorced. Like she's gonna leave me for sure. That's a weird juxtaposition, right?
Yeah, it is. Also, I should have Googled this before we got on the podcast, but I just Googled it. I found out the name of who Michelle was spending time with and sending photos to. So, John Waters. And Mandy, when I tell you this was not the man I expected to pull up,
oh my God.
You guys, get on your phone, your computer, wherever
Google
it. John Waters.
He looks scary.
I know. He looks like he could be.
He'd be in a horror film for sure.
I was just going to say, he's a guy in my horror movies.
He's the scary neighbor.
Yeah. He is terrifying.
Wow. He must be fucking loaded.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the point, which also makes me think like Jesse's got nothing to worry about. If she's sending that guy sexy photos, she's getting something good. I don't know. Probably not sex. I agree. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Jax is just in complete denial. And Jesse, you're right. He is so bizarre to me. I don't know how to even say that. And like,
it's so confusing.
Yeah. And Jax should have listened. Jax had friends that he likes, really trying to set him straight.
Has Jax ever listened though?
No. That's Jax's number one problem. Jax does not listen.
No.
Because Jax is always right, according to Jax.
Jax lives in Jax's world and sees things the way he wants to see them. And then when everything hits, like when shit hits the fan, he's like, oh, I have problems.
Well, because he is so used to calling all the shots. And Jason points that out. Like, Jax doesn't think Brittany's going to make any call.
Yeah. He's taking her for granted.
Yep. And also not believing in her ability to
My
make
wife would
decisions.
never leave.
She does.
Yeah, good.
So,
good.
Next episode, opening bars, closing chapters. Damn. This episode was all over the place. So, kind of out of the gate, Jesse's asking Michelle about her ring, and she's not wearing it, which, as we know in reality TV world, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Jax and Brittany are opening the bar. Jax is like beyond stressed out over nothing.
Well, Brittany's making the succulent wall.
And he's wiping the sign down.
He's not even wiping. Eventually, he's just like hitting the sign with the towel.
Doesn't that just make you want to rage?
I feel like that actually sums up Jax as a person, that scene.
Just never going to do anything hard or inconvenient for him.
But he wanders around like, oh, I'm so stressed. Like, you have no idea how stressed I am. Meanwhile, Brittany's actually creating things. You know, she's facilitating people. She's getting things done. But Jax is just really stressed out.
Yeah. We get a scene of Danny and Nia. They're still kind of not in agreement on where they're going to live.
I feel like the way he's approaching this conversation is starting to bother me.
It is starting to bother me too. I saw that and I was like, Danny fucking learned nothing and is not listening to her. Like, she is not well mentally. She cannot be far away from people, and that is valid. Like, that is something to know about yourself, to be like, I can't be alone.
Yeah, he keeps minimizing all of her. Like, she's trying to say, this is why it's important to me and I need you to understand why I feel this way. And he's like, yeah, but this place.
Yeah. Ew. I don't like it. We get Jasmine and Zach doing some pottery. Zach admits that he's just being petty.
I love it.
Me too.
Be petty.
That's great.
I also like Jasmine and Zach's friendship a lot.
Me too. I have to say, it comes up later where he calls that guy crock-a-shit boots, which is so funny. But then somebody on Reddit called him Croc Holmes because he noticed the pink Crocs. And like, I just now when I see him, I'm like, it's Croc Holmes.
Oh my God, that's epic.
Isn't that epic?
Yes.
I love it. I'm like here for Zach on all of this. We get a little scene of Kristen and Luke talking about Colorado.
Oh yeah.
Which, like, I don't know, good for them.
I still don't know. Like, how are they going to make a relationship work?
TBD, but she's not pregnant yet, so who knows?
Yeah, I know this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but what did you think about her? Like, it was a false pregnancy, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know how often that happens.
I don't know how often that happens either.
So she tested positive.
Yep.
And then she thought she was pregnant for up to 9 weeks. They were going to the doctor each week. And then I guess they did an ultrasound and there was no fetus. Like, she had 2 sacs, which I also didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, I'm not, maybe somebody who's had babies or an understanding of that can explain that to us, but I don't understand that either.
Well, at first I thought she miscarried, but then it was like, no, she never was pregnant.
Right. Because she didn't say miscarry, but like, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know.
I can see how mourning that would be. I mean, your body didn't physically have to go through something really hard, like going through a miscarriage. But I can see how maybe for her, when she wants a baby so bad and is feeling like she's losing time, how grieving that could be similar.
Absolutely, because it's 9 weeks that she had a lot of hope and joy, and then to not have that would be devastating. Yeah, I really feel for Kristen. That's hard. Fertility issues are, that's rough. That was sad for Kristen.
Yeah, that was heavy. I just didn't, when she told that story, I was like, how often does that happen? I didn't know that was a common thing. Or maybe it's not common. I have no idea.
We don't know.
Sorry, guys. We don't know.
This is the next scene, Michelle and Jesse talking. And he says, and I quote, "I just thought you had such strong family values that you would do whatever it takes to fix any problem and not just abandon the problem." This does warrant like a dick punch.
Yeah.
Fuck him for saying that. And again, pinning his poor behavior and like her unwillingness to entertain it on her.
You're the reason our marriage isn't working out.
Because you're leaving.
Yeah. I thought that
family values.
Like, I thought that you would stick to your vows.
Ew. Yeah. Everything about that.
He takes no accountability for what is wrong with their relationship.
His anger, his like refusal to connect with her emotionally, just like, I don't know. And then he brings up like them being really good in April 2020. And it's like, well, that is not a real slice of time because everybody was on lockdown. Things were fucking scary.
Yeah.
You're never going to go back either. And any couple who really, I feel like trying to really cling to the past rather than like looking at it of like, what can we fix going forward?
That's not productive.
It's not, because you can't get that back. There is something that happens when you first meet. You're in limerence. Like, your brain is literally, your bodies are doing something different. than what they do as familiarity sets in.
You're infatuated with each other.
Yes, it's a different kind of love. And if you can't tap into that different kind of love, which is often less passionate, intense, and rightly so, because love intense like that cannot be sustained over time. Like, that's not a good space to exist in. And the fact that he can't see that is just like another part of the problem. Like, you're just not going to get back to booty call Michelle because that's not where you guys are at. And that's not a fair or reasonable expectation of any, like, that's just, I feel like that happens a lot. People want sex to like maintain itself throughout the course of a relationship.
That's not how it works.
It's just not how it works. So get the fuck over it.
Your sexual connection should evolve with your emotional connection evolving, right?
Yes.
And that's just going to change it.
Ding, ding. And if it's not changing, then that's also a problem.
Yeah.
Yep. Ew. Jesse's gross.
It's also really immature to think that you would just be having hot sex the way it was when you were dating for the, I don't know, it's just like, are you 16?
Yeah,
That's
well, I
not
haven't,
how it works.
and also men being completely clueless and like, okay, well, we didn't have a bunch of emotional baggage of you being a total shithead, and that really clouds my ability to have wildly hot sex with you because I can't look at you that way anymore. You're not that hot dude sweeping me off my feet.
Yeah.
And similarly, not to say that that's always on the guys, but like I feel like men tend to hold on to that desire to have that like really intense sexual relationship, whereas women kind of more expect it to evolve. Just kind of playing with larger themes. I know that's not always the case, but ugh. So then this stupid bar opens, which makes me laugh. I love that Schwartz walks in and says, "Wow, it's so rustic." Jason walks in and says, "It's a lot more done than I thought it would be." And Zach is like, "This entire bar has Brittany written all over it. Like, why is it Jax's?"
Yeah, we should just call it Brittany's. Like, thank God for Zach just dropping the truth.
Yes. And like, is it the classiest bar I've ever seen? No.
I mean, it's a sports bar.
It is. The TVs all saying Jax's really made me laugh. I was just like, that's tacky. I don't know why you needed like a bajillion TVs for that, but
I also didn't quite understand the decor choices.
I didn't either. And I kind of dug the wallpaper.
I dug the wallpaper too, but not for a sports bar.
Not for a sports bar. Also, this whole concept is so bizarre to me. It's like a pop-up bar. Like, they're using Jax's face. The investors have paid for all of this. And I have to believe that, like, if it doesn't do well, some of that falls on Jax.
Wait, what do you mean by pop-up bar?
So, like, it's the bar is already in place. Like, they're just...
But it's still Jax's.
For now. But, like, it's another bar rebranded for the time being.
Yeah.
But like, Jax has put no money into it, is not an actual investor. And so I don't know the ins and outs of it, but like at any point they just take it all down and it goes back to being whatever bar it was.
Interesting.
Like, it's not really Jax's, but it is. I don't know if that makes sense.
He's just the face of it. But I love how he's acting like it's the same as Schwartz and Sandy's.
Dude, I'm like, fuck Jax for making me defend those two assholes. But like, Schwartz and Sandy's is a legitimate establishment. Like, they did that. And
they
Jax
paid for it.
Yeah. And Jax just had Brittany redecorate a bar and then hang up a flappy sign in the front and put the name on some TVs.
When he said the only way he would do it is if his wife the only way he would do it was if Brittany was involved, I was like, that's the biggest crock of shit. You never prioritized Brittany's involvement.
No, he just wanted her to do all the work that he didn't want to do.
But then he wants to stand up there and look like a good husband.
Ew. Which we know he's not.
Boo.
Some drama definitely goes down. I do want to give a shout out to Kristen for looking amazing in that snakeskin dress. Like, I want that dress. I don't even know where I'm going to wear it, but she looked so good.
She looked incredible.
She did.
I just have to say I'm Team Zach.
Same. I am Team Zach. I thought it was so shitty that in all of this, they also then tried to triangulate Jasmine to be like,
well, she's like, if you're friends with him, then I guess I know your loyalties lie. And Jasmine, we kind of saw this with Ariana trying to be friends with Rachel and Katie. Like, sometimes I feel like it mostly happens with women, but women get caught where they care about these two people who are at odds with each other, and it's like really hard to stay loyal to both sides.
Yeah. And like, it is tricky. I understand that that's challenging, but like, figure it out.
But Janet shouldn't expect Jasmine not to be friends with Zach just because she's not. Janet kind of has early Stassi energy, except she can't blame it on being 23.
that is really the big thing. Like, you're not 23. You guys are in your 30s, maybe 40s. Like, get out. You cannot behave like this.
I feel like Janet's just acting like she's queen bee, and if you don't perfectly align with what she wants, then you're out. And
yeah, I thought that was so funny that Zach was like, but no, you see it and you see it and you see it. And I was like, oh, yeah, we do. But Kristen was saying the same thing. Like, it all accumulated. This whole season accumulated to Janet really being the shitster.
Yes.
And then being like, I'm pregnant. And like,
Oh
okay,
my God.
Mandy and I like, don't come at us. This might be a hot take, but like, I don't think a pregnancy is an excuse. I feel
like she's weaponizing her pregnancy.
Yeah, and like, you don't get to behave like an asshole and then be like, I'm pregnant. Don't behave like an asshole and you won't get treated like an asshole.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you. Don't make your own problems or be upset that like you are a victim of your own, like you're the creation of your own circumstances.
She created the situation, and when people are reacting to it, she's like, oh, I'm pregnant.
Like, I'm sure in some form or another, Jax and her came to an agreement that he would tell them they're not coming.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Jax didn't just do that.
Also, she's still the one that didn't want them to come.
Yeah, and then like having Zach on speakerphone, also a mean girl move, because then she's getting the validation from her friends, so she knows she can like really just be like, how dare you? She's got that support, whereas Zach feels like, and then she did it again when he's like, can we have a private conversation? And Michelle and Jen are like, no, you can talk about it right here with us.
Boo.
Yeah, I hated that.
Dude, she has such toxic mean girl energy.
She does. I'm not here for it. And I'm glad that everybody told her what for. So, but I guess, I mean, she's still friends with Michelle and Brittany.
Nia,
thank you. I was like, there were 4 of them. Yeah, anything about that drama other than...
I do wish that Jason would kind of call her out more.
Yeah, that is a bizarre thing for sure. But I mean, props to a man who stands up for his wife, but like maybe in private, he did try and be like, girl, let's not get involved.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm not.
Bullshit.
And then cut all of the scenes of her like...
I feel like he's just following her crazy and trying to clean up after her as she goes.
Absolutely. It was so funny when he's like, okay, they're going to have their side of the bar. We're going to stay on this side of the bar. I'm like, you are such a fucking nerd. That's not how this works. God.
Oh.
I also thought it was so interesting when Luke was like, nope, I'm not moving. I'm keeping Kristen in my line of sight or in his eye line.
Yeah.
I was like, that's intense, man. What do you mean by that?
Probably.
Are you going to like go tackle her ass if she starts shit? Or like what? Why do you need to keep her in your eye line? Like, what is even going on here?
I mean, Kristen is capable of being volatile.
Oh, yeah. She's just going to like swoop in and be like, and we're leaving. That was wild. But she handled that well. She was just like, no, Brittany, Michelle and I are not going to reconcile. That's okay. I understand. But like, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And like, that's actually the most reasonable thing Kristen has probably said all season.
Probably the most mature and the most self-aware.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wild. Jax gives that stupid speech giving Brittany props. I don't know. I also hate that we didn't talk about this. Jax asking Brittany to take a shot with him. I'm like, if you don't want your wife to drink ever, then don't do that.
Which way is it, my dude?
Ew, that triggered me hard. I was like, this guy is so fucked up.
She's damned if she does, damned if she doesn't.
Yep. I hated that. And then we move into like what I think is Jax bragging about beating the odds. That's where it came up. Where he was comparing himself to Sandoval and Schwartz for the bar. And it's like, nope, you didn't beat the odds because then it's cue Brittany leaving Jax. That was intense, that last half of this episode.
I will say when Jax and Brittany are like fighting in her bedroom or their bedroom.
Yeah.
And she says, I can't believe how uncomfortable I feel in my own bedroom. And he is like gaslighting her, not listening to her, just spewing the same shit. And she's like, you haven't changed or done anything. Okay, I do think that was a really dysfunctional conversation on both sides. The way Brittany was communicating was also really unproductive.
Yeah, Brittany's not
because she's just basically attacking Jax and being like, you're not fixing anything. You're not working on yourself. You're the reason all this failed. And I'm not saying that she can't feel that way, but
Brittany knows who Jax is and has made some decisions to be in this marriage too.
Yes.
And has really just like let a lot of things go and given him a lot of passes where she absolutely shouldn't have. And yeah, Brittany's not completely innocent in all of this either. Like,
right, because she's enabled a lot of Jax's behavior.
So much enabling.
Yes.
I think she's been really selfish too in some of these instances. Like the baby thing is so shocking to me. It's like, you guys are not in a good position to do this. Like, yeah, Jax should have handled that better, but honestly, Jax is being reasonable when he's like, this is not the time.
Yeah.
He's right. And like, I hate that, but it's true.
Yeah.
And so like, we gotta do some recalibration. But it was shocking when she got together then with the girls and was like, she just said that it would like hit her in the face like a ton of bricks, how horrible Jax is. And the way he screamed at her for hours when he came home from the bar and was hungover. Snakes aren't mean though. I just like want to clear the air on that. I feel like mean as a snake is a weird thing to say, but Jax being mean does not surprise me.
No,
and that's
like maybe
really
like a badger.
Badgers
Badgers are mean.
White men who are hungover are mean. So I
was just trying to think of an aggressive animal.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, don't fuck with badgers. So like that was really shocking and that was kind of sad and like wild to me that it took that much for Brittany to see that and like sad that Cruz had to be in that for her to sort of like wake up.
I do think that there is something about once you're separated from your partner and in hindsight you're able to see all of these things in your relationship that you existed in and were aware of, but we're just kind of like either choosing not to see it or you were thinking that the good outweighed the bad.
Yeah, I absolutely.
I also think she was like us as parents is better than us being broken and not parents. So I think there's also this like we should stay together for our son, even if Brittany's like not thinking that she should stay with Jax for herself.
Yeah.
I do think a lot of parents tend to think that. But I also I can't imagine being on the other side of it and having the hindsight that Brittany's having and thinking of like all the fucked up things that she's endured being in a relationship with Jax.
Well, it's especially, and I want to tread carefully here, shocking, especially in her like ITMs where like I don't know what's going on with her breast implants and her face is really kind of oddly shaped and like not moving and like she's just had so much plastic surgery and I think about Jax really pushing that initial breast implant thing on her in the early days and it just is like sad to see. And if she wants that, I support that. Like Brittany, this is no shame for plastic surgery. Like everybody just does them and I mean I've got feelings on it but ultimately whatever. But like she looks so
very
different and it's jarring because she has been beautiful this whole time and to just sort of see everything not sitting quite right and looking a little odd. I hope that was of her choice or choosing and not out of pressure from Jax.
Well, and even if Jax isn't literally telling her that she needs these things done, it could be coming from a low self-esteem, like my partner's not attracted to me.
Well, because he's called her fat and she didn't even deny it.
Right.
She was just like, yeah, that happened. And like, so Jax has clearly been really horrific to her. Like, she's not choosing to say this about her body out of nowhere. Like, Jax has definitely had his hand in that.
I will say this kind of connects back to Love Island, where it's so surprising that these beautiful women are so insecure when I feel like they are 10s, right?
Yes.
And the way that as soon as another guy like goes to talk with another woman or kiss another woman, how they immediately kind of implode and feel like they have no self-worth. It's like, first of all, it's really hard because you do understand the guy's role in that, but like women need to work on themselves and we need to be stronger for ourselves and not like rely on validation from men.
The way you look also is the least interesting thing about you.
Yes.
And it like internalize that. Like, and if a guy is really going to leave you for a hotter in quotes woman, fuck that dude.
He is not worth it.
Ew, we hate that. And so I know it's hard. And like, I know you and I have both had like our own body issues and like struggling with that
and that
too.
work is hard.
So hard, but it's worth doing.
Yes.
It's worth doing the work to feel good in your own skin and comfortable and confident in who you are and not viewing women as somebody that you compare yourself to. And I know that that's tough, but it's definitely work that a lot of us need to do. And we all need to take ownership of that. And it is really a bummer to see women on television not doing that because that's a great space for that. And to see that happening rather than the concern would be
And with that work comes so much power and confidence.
Yeah.
And that's attractive.
So attractive. That would go a long way with the guys for sure. So yeah, it was kind of a bummer of an ending. And then we saw Jesse and Michelle talking things out and like struggling to kind of come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised by that.
That interaction was so uncomfortable.
I did read though that Jesse was on Watch What Happens Live, and so Michelle is now dating somebody else.
Good
and
for her.
Michelle and her partner and Jesse all hung out at their daughter's birthday together and were fine. And so it does sound like they might have also like brought out the worst in each other, kind of knew it. And now that the dust has settled, and this is by no means a Jesse endorsement, fuck that guy, but like it does seem like things are going better for them.
Well, I knew that would be the case once the dust settled. Like them staying together was also not good for their daughter.
No, and it is unfortunate that sometimes you just don't bring out the best in your partner. That happens. And it's good to recognize the impact that has on people around you, especially your children.
I do want to kind of tie back to when Kristen and Brittany are talking at Brittany's Airbnb. They're like trashing Jax, and Cruz is right there.
Right there.
And it's like, even if Cruz doesn't completely understand the situation, he is old enough to listen. And even if he doesn't process what you're saying, like that stays with kids.
That does. I know, it's so shocking to me. Like, parents need to not talk in front of their kids. Just don't do it. Like, kids are so perceptive. All the time, they're like, where did they get that? Well, they were listening to adults. That's where they got it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, and again, Mandy and I don't have kids. So, like, we know, but also just like you wouldn't shit talk somebody who's sitting in the other room. Like, kids,
if they can hear it, just pay attention.
Yeah, I find that really shocking. And like Cruz has all this, he's got
his
years of data that he can gather for himself on his dad. Let him make that determination. Don't put those things in his head from his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just try to respect your partner in front of your kids.
Yeah. Jesse and Michelle went outside to have the conversation.
Exactly.
Just
little
like
things.
Little things. I know. Woo.
Little kids absorb everything.
Man, this was a wild conclusion to the Valley.
It
was really dark, but it also very good. And I felt things, and it made me think about things, and I appreciated it. So
it's normal for Bravo not to do reunions for the first season of a show, but I'm kind of surprised they're not, just because I think this show I think the ratings have been good. I think it's gotten a lot of traction.
The dynamics of this group are so fascinating.
Yes.
It would be so good to catch up with everybody and see.
Did you notice in the wedding flashbacks, all of Jax and Brittany's, like, you saw all of the people?
Yes. They were there.
They were
They're
there.
friends, which is so, I did not know that.
Yeah.
And like that they had no part to play in.
Long-term friends.
Yeah. So like that also is compelling. We want that. That's what's missing from Vanderpump Rules right now.
Yes.
That's what the Valley is giving us. Give us the friendships and the dysfunction. Like, it's so good. I'm bummed.
Good.
Also, I guess excited. So we'll probably get the Valley in January.
I hope so.
Me too. Like, that honestly sounds better to me than Vanderpump. So.
Yeah, I'm more excited about the Valley than Vanderpump Rules right now.
Same. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And in a couple weeks, we've got The Bachelorette.
Yay!
So I think you and I might record one more episode.
Yes.
Just before The Bachelorette starts. Maybe two. I don't know quite the timing of it.
We need to do Jen's Men.
We need to do Jen's Men. And I think we want to kind of talk about like what it's been like to podcast reality TV.
Maybe we combine those.
Yeah, I think that would be a really fun episode for us to do. And then I'm excited for Jen's season.
Yay! I've missed The Bachelor. I'm excited.
Me too. It'll be good to have that. And then Love Island wraps up like July 21st. So it'll be a couple weeks of overlap and intense stuff there. But then things will smooth out and we'll just be onto The Bachelorette and Golden Bachelorette.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then Traitors when it comes.
Which is also probably going to be January. So January is going to be good for us. July is going to be good for us.
Yeah. Lots of things.
Yeah. I'm really pumped. I think we're going strong. Thanks everybody for listening. If you can, rate and review us.
Yes, please. And share with your friends that watch reality TV.
Please.
We love
would really
you.
appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Drama Bonded is produced and hosted by Jessica Brumbaugh and Mandy Booth. Graphic designer is Pigeon House. Special thanks to everybody who has downloaded and listened to us. We are so, so grateful for your support. Thank you.